presentation that we gave at the Centennial Hills Active Adult Center, where we did our research, or the bulk of it. And our question that we sought to answer was, are you at risk of falling? And it was by me, one of our partners could be here today, Delaney. She's also an LQD member. And Jade, myself, and Natalie. Okay, so how do we determine if somebody is at risk? So this is a very important question to ask, or and have answered if you're old. No, if you're an older adult. Well, I would say if you're older than 50, because that's what we did our research on. So it's very important to have tests that assess this accurately. So mobility is usually assessed by a doctor or a physical therapist. There's many different types of mobility tests, but the ones that we focused on in our research were the timed up and go test and the 6-minute walk test. We're just going to give you like a crash course of what we did. We're not going to break down all the results the way we did at the presentation, because we just want you to get the gist of it, and then we'll add our experience at the end. So why do we need a formal test for mobility? Well, it's very important to establish baselines, because we want to know where a patient started and where a patient ended for after a treatment program. And so we focused on the timed up and go test. So this is where we wanted to make this test better. The timed up and go test just monitors the time it takes for you to walk from a chair, walk 3 meters, and sit down. So I'm just going to demonstrate it real quick. It's used with a handheld timer. A regular chair doesn't hit me with the arms. So usually this. So I would say, go to the 3-meter mark. There would be a mark right here, and I'd say, okay, when I say go, you're going to stand up, walk at a fast but comfortable pace, come back and sit back down. Like turn around, you go, you sit back down. So I would say, okay, go. As you can see, we want to see when the bottom comes up from the chair, but it's very subjective. So like it could be, I could start it when like she's halfway up, and then when she sits back down, she could be almost all the way down before I hit it to stop. So we wanted the timing component to be more accurate. So that's why we created a device that helped assess this.
So pretty much we're trying to improve the accuracy and then the reliability. So if somebody else were to do the test, we want to make sure that they get the same results as the person before them in a different location, or just someone else timing it. So I don't know, someone could be really nervous and they might time it a little bit faster than somebody else. Then the results would be a little bit off. And then also we created a super cool device. It's an automatic timer. So it actually times people like when they stand up, like the weight of when they stand up, and then the weight when they sit down, which is in a picture. Okay. So the thing with this and versus that, with like standard chairs, it's 46 centimeters. So someone who's super tall, I don't know if you guys saw Dr. Lee stand up, but he's like really, really, really tall. So for him, he might have to like squat super low. So if you're well seasoned, like an older person, it might be a lot harder and you have to use a lot more energy. It's going to be a lot more like pain maybe, but it's going to take them a lot longer of a time to walk up and then walk around the distance and come back. Whereas someone like me, I'm super short, I'm pretty much like already standing, then it'd be faster for me. So that's why we changed the chair heights. And then we wanted to see if different distances would affect how people performed. So 3 meters in reality is probably like right here. And that's super short, so someone that's older, that might be like a really short distance for them, so you can't really determine if that's kind of a good assessment of their mobility. So we had them do a 3 meter, 6 meter, and then a 9 meter, so kept getting further. And then we also wanted to see the accuracy of the handheld timer versus the actual force plate timer. And we wanted to see if there was a correlation between a 6-minute walk test, which is just actual tug test. Okay, so what we had all of our participants do, we had them fill out a consent form, obviously. No one can sue us or anything. We had them do the tug test of 3, 6, and 9 meters. We had them do it at a standard chair height of 46 centimeters. And we also had them do it at like an adjusted seat height, so it was custom to their leg length. And we timed it with a handheld timer and then this timer too. We had them fill out the wellness survey, and then they did the 6-minute walk test. And that usually took about 25 to 30 minutes depending on the person. And yeah, so that's me in the chair. So as you can see, with the 46 centimeters, I'm kind of like already lifted versus the 42 centimeters.
So our participant demographics, the requirement to participate in our test, we made it, you had to be 50 years or over. You must be able to walk at least 150 feet without assistance. That's probably the distance around this whole classroom, just about. And you had to be mentally and physically sound, just so you can understand our directions. And this is a breakdown of the participants that we had. We had a total of 100. We actually had a little over 100, but certain patients halfway through the process could not complete the test, either if they were too physically weak or mentally, a lot of them had depression. So, because they were dealing with older adults, so a lot of them just had like their loved one die. And so the median, or the average age was about 66, and you can see with the men, everything's a little higher, so it's like they're, or actually except the age. So the height for men is a little higher than the women's, their weight is more, and their BMI is higher than the women's, but these are the averages over here, you can see that. The average age was 66, their height was about 167 centimeters, their weight was about 78.8 kilograms, which is about
140 something, 150, 140.
yeah, I think it's a little over that.
Times it by 2.
Yeah, their BMI was about 28, which is overweight, if you remember the table. And so how the tug timer works, we can actually show you a live action of how it works, but this is a breakdown. So instead of having the handheld timer, what this device does is when you sit down, it reads your force in newtons, and then this is the time lapse. So when you're sitting down, it's just reading how much force you're exerting on the plate. As soon as you stand up, when 90% of your weight is off the chair, the timer starts. And then the participant walks, so it goes down to 0 because there's no weight on it. And then when you sit down, 90% of your weight is back on it, the timer stops. So that creates more reliable results because it's the same for every person. Every person's 90% of their weight is being measured, as opposed to subjective. Like, I can see that her butt kind of came off the chair. I'm going to start it. So it made it more reliable.
And then we could show you guys.
Yeah, we'll show you the
actual. Okay. Okay. So pretty much, we also had a handheld timer, and then we would. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Pull it up to like. Yeah, it's fine.
well, you can see it started. This screen's a little weird. Let me see if we can see.
Just click start.
It's difficult because the
Okay.
screen is black, so I can't see what I'm doing.
Okay.
Okay.
So click start. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it. There's a red line. There's nothing on it. I'd sit down, I get high, then I would walk, which is when it would start the timer. Yeah, then sit back down. So then pretty much it starts like around here, stops around here. So it's always accurate every time.
We instructed them to try to sit still, so we can have a solid reading. But this is just a rough example of what it looks like. So you guys can get familiar with how complicated and intricate doing research is. compare the seat height versus the speed. So on this part, we have the distance, 3, 6, and 9 meters, and then the seat height. We had the standard seat height of 46 centimeters, and then we had a participant-specific, so their custom height. And we wanted to see if there was a significant difference in their performance based on the seat height and the distance. The p-value, if you guys remember, or if you've taken stats, the closer it is to 0, or the closer it is to 0.001, I believe.
The smaller the p-value, well, if the p-value is less than 0.05, that means that there is a difference. So in here, we're basically looking at the standard seat height, which is 46 centimeter, and the participant-specific seat height, and see whether people take less time to complete the walk of different 3 different walking distance. You can see that the standard seat height in all the walking distances, the participants take slightly longer to complete the task, and it was significantly longer in both the 3-meter and the 9-meter walks.
And then you can also compare the differences between this value and that value. These were much closer, but what we ended up with was a 3 and 9 meter is what we kind of focused in on afterwards, because it yielded the highest or the lowest p-value. So 0.229 it's a little high up. So we just focus on the 3 and 9 meters.
Okay. So pretty much it's kind of obvious that this is going to be more accurate than a person handheld timer. So pretty much we wanted to remove human error and just use this instead. And then as you can see, so our value, we want it closer to 1, right? Yep. So these are all closer to 1 except for the, oh yeah, tug bench is always higher than this one. So it's more accurate. Except for this, I don't know, 6 meters was kind of weird.
It was like the
We don't know
in-between,
why, so it's something we could look into further, but tug bench is going to be more accurate. Okay, so the tug and the 6-meter walk. So the 6-meter walk is the gold standard right now for mobility, but if you're older, you don't really want to walk for 6 minutes. I mean, even now, I wouldn't want to walk for 6 minutes. So we're trying to see if it was correlated so that people would only have to walk a shorter distance doing the tug test, and then instead of walking for 6 minutes. So since it is highly correlated, that's a really good thing. And you can tell it's highly correlated because of the steepness of the line. The steeper it is, the more correlated it is. So hopefully in the future, people would have the tug bench be a gold standard versus the 6-minute walk test. And it's more convenient too.
And then we saw with both of these, the 6-minute walk test and the tug performance, the faster they completed the tug test, the more distance they covered with the 6-minute walk test, which is, the more active they are, the more they can cover. So it goes hand in hand. So these are kind of expected results, but it proved what we were looking for.
Okay. And this kind of says the same thing that she's talking about earlier, that age and the tug performance is correlated. So just like what she said, the older you are, the slower you are, and then the younger you are, faster you are.
In general.
Yeah.
And so we did, one of the components that we looked at was we provided the survey that asked them how they view their physical and emotional health. And we paired it up, so how they view their physical well-being versus their tug performance. The results were significant, but they're not as highly correlated as some of the other results that we got. So basically what we found was that the participants' self-assessed physical well-being was not highly correlated with their tug performance, but it was significant enough for us to report it. The take-home message with all of this is that automated tug test can be used as a valid and more reliable tool to assess physical mobility and function in older adults. So we want to get this eventually into clinics so we can just have them do it. If we want to say what's their ability right now, we can just have them do this, the walk real quick, and then say, okay, like the machine would spit out a result, and then go from there. But we're still in the works of that, but that's generally what we plan to do. That's it. For that.
Not yet. We're not done yet.
That's it for that part, but now we're going to go over our experience with the research and how we found out about it. Sorry. So this was through the Nevada INBRI UROP program. So the INBRI part stands for Nevada Idea. The font is a little weird on the word, but the Nevada Idea Network of Biomedical Research Excellence. And a lot of the people that were there were like trying to find cures for cancer, and it was a lot of other students with like biology professors. And what this program has you do is, well, it's targeted towards undergraduate research, people that want to do undergraduate research, and it gives you an opportunity to do so, and you get paid for it, which is nice. So the applications are due in early March. So if you want to start thinking about ideas, if you've had something that you want to work, that you're interested in looking up, like in researching, then start thinking of ideas. Or if you want to approach a faculty member and say, hey, is this, or do you have anything like any projects that you want to investigate that you need help with? Because some of the physical therapy students, they're so overwhelmed with work, with their homework and stuff from being in the program, that they're not always able to immerse themselves in the process. So luckily for us, Dr. Lee already had an idea of what he wanted. He actually, I believe you approached LKD, and he was the one that approached us and let us know, hey, we're looking for 2 students. I believe it's just 2 students that they sponsor, but Jade was not part of the program. She was a volunteer because you have to be a UNLV student, but she still participated in the whole process. Her name is on the work. She just didn't get the grant. So what we did for this was we wrote up a proposal. So he gave us a bunch of research to do, and that gives you like an experience. Like writing up a proposal is not as easy as it may seem if you've ever thought about it. There's a lot of research. You have to see what other kind of work is out there about what you want to research, and you have to describe the components of what you're looking to solve or answer in your research. Which a lot of times you don't even solve anything, you're just getting closer to being more reliable at something. And it's a great mentorship opportunity. We've met with him so many times, probably so sick of us, but we are always emailing back and forth, and he has this, he assigns us to do things. He doesn't, because he could probably do all this himself, because he's super smart and he's very educated in school, but he gives us the tasks and say, okay, you guys do it, and then report back to me and we'll work on it. So it's, you get to do a lot of the work yourself, but you have that like safe haven you can go to that can help you solve if you're stuck. And it's a 10-week intensive program. They don't allow you to take any classes or work during this time, but usually that's what the $4,500 goes towards, is to cover your expenses. And I believe your mentor gets $1,000 for supplies and whatever else expenses may be required to do the work. And I actually still was able to take a class that I had to take, but it's up to you if you want to put yourself through that. And there's weekly workshops that you have to complete and attend with the program. And they're pretty cool. Like, they have guest speakers come in and talk about their experiences in research, how to even look up stuff in the library, and like other people's work, and how to create a poster. This picture right here was the poster presentation that you are required to do at the end. So you put up a poster, even if you're not done with your research, you put up like a collection of everything that you did. And there was about 20 to 40 other people there too that were presenting their work. So everybody just walks around and you can ask people questions, or they come up to you. And we got a lot of inquiries about working with us, like the biomechanics department wants to work with us, psychology wants to see like the psychological components of the test. So you get to network a lot too, which is pretty cool. And this is when we went to the Nevada test site where they do all the nuclear bomb testing back in the, was it like 60s? Yeah, and it was super cool because they take you to all of the forbidden areas that nobody, they do a background check on you, they make sure. I didn't know all this until you realize that half the members that are in the program aren't there because they, well, a lot of them couldn't make it, but a lot of them weren't there. Is what she explained to me. I was like, "Where's everybody?" And she said, "Well, some people were cleared.
They're sketchy.
So they do, and they make sure. Yeah, I think you have to be a citizen, or I don't. I mean, this is like private information that they're giving you about like our national security. So they took us to see all the airplanes and stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And they took us to like where they dump all the waste and how secure it is, and it was pretty cool.
Did you see UFOs?
No. There's the guy that we had, the tour guide, was really quirky, and he's actually retired military, and he was like head of a lot of the programs at the National Security Agency, and he kept saying, "Oh, I think I might get fired for this, but I don't care." He's like, "I'm old anyway," so he kept telling us like a bunch of secrets and stuff, and it was cool. I mean, probably won't get in trouble with that. And if you want to.
Okay, so pretty much our experience with it, with the whole research thing, is you got to know the faculty a lot. Like, we really know Dr. Lee now. And then not only that, but like we got to know Dr. Sue like really well because she did the test when we were training for it. Or no, she actually did the test. Yeah, she was fun. And then like we got to know a lot of the faculty through it, so it's a good way to
It looks great
get
on your
yourself out
resume.
there.
Like any type of research looks really good on your resume.
Especially as an undergrad.
So take advantage if you are able to participate in a program like this.
So since we're all trying to get into PT school, it's good experience doing research, and it's a lot of work. So I mean, it kind of gives you, like, I guess, mentality. You're like, okay, like it's gonna be a lot of work. So at least when you do it again, you already know how to prepare for it. You already know how to research and ask questions, and anything that could come up, at least you've kind of already done it before. You get to communicate with a wide variety of people. Like we reached out to Centennial Hills Active Adult Center. We got to know, was she a director of it? She was the director of it.
The patients, like the subjects too, are very, well, especially with the population that we worked with. Elderly people have so many stories to tell, and you kind of have, like, we didn't even realize how hard it was going to be to convince them to do it. We were out there, like, selling our soul. We were like, we had to, like, convince them, and at the end, we gave them, like, a small gift as a token of appreciation. So it was a pen and a UNLV tablet.
Yeah.
Not like a
Then sometimes you get like sketchy people. They're like, well, I don't want to give away my social security number or anything like that.
Yeah, we're very paranoid.
We're just adding to education and stuff.
But some of them are really cool, and then you realize that they're more fit than you a lot of times, and they're in their 70s, so it gives you inspiration.
Yeah, you're like,
so.
maybe I should start doing that now.
Oh, these are some pictures. This is the director of the Centennial Hills Active Adult Center. Selene, the other girl that did it with us. And this is just like how it looked on a regular day. What we were doing, we would just have them sit down, and we gave them all the instructions. Right there, she's filling out the survey. We had like a little system going, and that's just evidence that we did that.
We actually did the research. We're not just here. Let's see. Oh, our current projects. So we actually submitted our research to the Gerontological Society of America's 6th Annual Scientific Meeting and 66th Annual Meeting, and we got accepted. So we're gonna go to New Orleans and present it there
In November, so in about
a month.
Yeah. So we're preparing for that now. We're going to redo the poster to make it look prettier, and I think it has to be smaller, but you just on writing the manuscript to have it published, and we're creating.
Oh,
but it's
we
a
actually made
references table.
Yeah, so it's like a norms value. So like say you're 66, and you're like you just did the test, and you're like, so am I at risk of falling, or where do I place? We actually have a table that we made that says, oh, you're 66 years old, you should be able to do it in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then if you're over or you're under, from there we can determine if you should be doing a little bit more stuff or if you're good to go.
And we're trying to get the tech bench patented for clinical use. So we've already had, we had somebody come out from Taiwan that was interested in looking at it, and we want to computerize it and add a bunch of cool stuff to it. So that's a project for later. And then we want to, in the future, gather more subjects. Right? I don't think we're done with it yet. We want to get more people to do the test so we can make it even more relatable to the general population. And we want to do further research into other areas that we discovered. Like, why doesn't, how you feel about your health affect how you walk, or why does it, or things like that.
That's it. If you guys have any questions for us, like we can answer them. If you have any questions about INBRE, about
Application
applying to
process.
PT school,
We're both
doing
applying
that
right now.